And welcome. I am so glad to have everyone here today. Today's topic is going to be the system of referrals, which is actually the easiest way to grow your coaching business. And it's something that if we are systematic about the work that we do of asking for referrals and building that into our way of onboarding clients and growing our client base, it is one of the easiest ways for us to grow and be successful in our coaching business. What I really want you to hear me when I say that is that the purpose of building a business is no longer to get customers. That's what most people think it is. It's about getting customers. It's actually about creating raving fans, which are essentially customers that get you more customers. And I'll give you an example. In my coaching business, what was great, you'd have one client from a company, for example, on the executive side. They would have an amazing breakthrough, an amazing experience, and then they would refer me to 2 or 3 of the other colleagues who are struggling. And that's just in the work environment. In the personal way, it's oftentimes friends and family members, someone else who's really struggling right now. And what I'm going to show you today is just how easy it is to ask for referrals, and in the process of asking for referrals, how you can continuously systematically grow and expand your coaching business in the place of SAGE, which is ease and flow. See, any of this work that we're doing, if it starts to feel really hard or difficult, then I would stop, check in, and really take a look at what that difficulty really is coming from, because typically that's a saboteur thought or emotion or an experience that's coming through this. And yes, there's things that we don't know that we're going to be working on together, and we're going to be dancing outside in the edges sometimes, and that can be a little intimidating. But once we actually just get past that and say, like, I'm here to grow, and I'm willing to actually make mistakes, and I'm willing to fail as a means to actually fail toward the growth that I want to see. Because there is no such thing as failure when you're really going through and building a business. There's just learning opportunities. So if we reframe any type of failure as an opportunity to learn, it's going to be rapid growth in the place of SAGE, which is ease and flow. And so with that, I am going to share my screen. Great. And make sure I get this and play. Okay, so building your system of referrals, when and how to ask for a referral. A friend of mine, Chris Salem, is a broadcaster, radio broadcaster. He's done a lot of television interviews and also has done some great consulting work. He's up in Connecticut. And we did a panel together, and he introduced this concept: give without expectation, receive without resistance. He may not have been the one who coined this. I did some searching. I could not find if there's an original author. This is the first time I heard it said exactly this way. So I attribute it to the work that we did together in that panel. But what it dawned on me, and why I'm bringing it up now, is that for most coaches, every single one on this call, I am confident, has mastered giving without expectation. Think about it. This is a giving profession, right? When you're coaching and you're training, it's about the giving. And we find it really easy to give. Where I see most of the challenges occur, and what we're going to speak into today, is to receive without resistance. And I'm going to actually think about that experience right now. When somebody does something nice for you, do you immediately try to do something back? If I were to compliment you and say, you're an amazing coach, what comes up? No, I'm not. Or, oh, you shouldn't say that, or you don't know me, or what, if there's a voice that's coming up in that moment, often a saboteur voice, it's about resisting that ability to receive. So anything as simple as a compliment, to how often when you're out with friends at dinner or drinks, back when we were doing those things on a regular basis, how often are you grabbing the check? How often are you the first one to pay for everybody else's meal? And that comes from a place of giver, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if somebody else wants to pay, do you deny them that opportunity? If somebody wants to give you a gift, do you accept it graciously and be thankful for it? Or do you put up some resistance? And I share this with you because what we're about to talk about really is the essence of this. This is the opportunity for us to really look at what it means to resist receiving things, because it will hamper the growth of your coaching business. and left out of check, if we don't put in check this ability to receive without resistance, we're going to find that we're going to run out and deplete our energy. We're constantly going to be going after and trying to build new clients, new business growth. And if we're not relying on the giving of others and receiving without resistance, this is going to be where we struggle. Conversely,
Bill, if I can actually add a reframing there, that what you're really talking about is reframing even receiving as an act of giving, because when people are allowed to give to us, it grows them, it serves them. So since we are ultimately about being givers, what you're helping us do is reframe receiving as a form of giving.
Beautiful.
We just are doubling down on who our sage is, which is a giving soul.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for that reframe, Shirzad, because it's funny, as everyone's on their journey, as I am on mine. I look at this from the place of, how is giving someone the opportunity to give to you also a form of giving? That's a beautiful reframe.
Exactly.
I love
it.
Thank you, Shirzad. Love it. And referrals make a huge difference in your company. A recent survey of over 3,000 business people, more than 50% of the respondents said that they got the majority of their customers through referrals, and that those referral business closes and converts 70% of the time. Now think about that. If you had any referral source that would close 70% of the time, would you give it your undivided attention? Knowing full well that on a one-on-one basis, when you give and deliver a powerful coaching session, the average is 10%. 1 out of 10 are going to say yes to whatever offer you make them at the end of a powerful coaching session. Now, that's average. Some people get more, some people struggle with that and they don't even get that one. But the point that I'm giving you is that if you knew that getting referrals would give you a 70% close rate, this is why I really want to have you pay attention to this. Because it really is the ease and flow of your sage, the ability to receive new opportunities and growth. So we're going to talk about building your systems of referrals. And there's a reason I call it a system of referrals, because this isn't just about like, oh, I want to ask for a referral. This is about how are we systematically building referrals into everything that we do. See, for most people, it's not. For most people, what ends up happening is it's catch as catch can. They'll receive a referral here and there, but they're not really being deliberate about asking for the referral. And because, as we said, referrals are your fastest path to growth and success, we want to create a system around it. And the system behind the referrals is just don't leave it to chance. Be deliberate about when and how you ask. So we're going to get right into that today, how to build your system of referrals from the very beginning of the relationship. And then understanding how to grow your net promoter score. We're going to explain what the net promoter score is if you don't know, and then how to actually grow it. And then modeling what you want to see in your coaching business, and then any next steps for the actual homework assignments we're going to go after. So referrals are your fastest path to growth and success. The psychology of the warm introduction is very easy to understand. Safe, proven, trusted, results-oriented. So think about that. If you've had an incredible experience on anything, whether it's the car that you drive, whether it's a real estate agent that you use to buy your house, whether it's a local dry cleaner that you just switched to and think they do a phenomenal job, when you make an introduction to somebody else, you're telling them, you're using your own credibility as a means to say, I believe in this, and here's why. So the person on the receiving end of that sees that this is a safe option. It's easy to make the choice. It's proven because somebody I know and trust has already gone before me. Because of that, there's already an extended trust that comes not just from the referral source, but also from the friend themselves. So they're already coming to you with this place of trust as their coach, even though they've never worked with you. And it's results oriented because the number one reason people give referrals is because they've received some form of result. They love what they have experienced. They want others to have what they have. And that's in anything. Nobody wants to be first, but everyone wants proven results from someone they trust. So think about that. A new product launches, especially in the technology space. My dad was the person who would go out and buy it the first time. He's the one that introduced me to TiVo. I didn't want to look at this thing called the TiVo because I had no idea if it was a piece of junk or if it was something that actually could change my life. TiVo certainly thought it would change my life, but that's just the company and that's their marketing. When my dad bought it, however, he said, "This will change your life. Check it out. Here's what it does." And then once he gave me that little demonstration, I went out and bought one right away. And then I actually changed the lives of some other people that I knew, did the same thing. So what's beautiful is even as you give the referral to someone else, it typically doesn't stop there because that trust keeps going. And more people actually get and receive the value of that first referral. It's like a ripple effect. Imagine you throw a big rock into a lake. That ripple just keeps going with referral after referral after referral. The challenge we have as coaches is to be the one to ask for the referral and make that ripple begin. You can get referrals from people who are never even your client. I'm going to show you some ways where a client can actually come in and a prospect can listen to a powerful coaching session with you. And at the end of the coaching session, say, "No, thank you." I'm going to show you what you could say to them to actually get a referral right then and there. The secret is craving raving fans and being deliberate in your ask. So by knowing when and how to ask for the sale, or specifically the referral in this case, then you can build that into your process. A client advocate is someone who has achieved the result based on the work together as a coach and a client. This is what you're looking for to create advocacy. A prospect advocate is someone who never hired you as their coach, but still had a breakthrough during a powerful coaching session with you. And that in and of itself leads to an opportunity. So here's the system, and we're not going to leave this to chance. Struggling coaches still get referrals, but not that many because they don't ask for them. So that is leaving it to chance. Sometimes someone just had such a powerful breakthrough with you that they can't shut up about you. And therefore they do in fact share. And they say, "Hey, this is what I experienced, check it out." Asking the referral should not feel uncomfortable or unnatural. It should be a natural part of your ongoing coaching practice. This is about really taking a listen to any saboteur thoughts that come up when you want to ask for a referral. Because some probably will, especially if we really haven't nailed receiving without resistance. We may experience a number of saboteur thoughts that don't serve us, and we're going to work on those. Because what you want is it to be a natural ease and flow of your coaching business. And just like nailing your offer, it takes deliberate practice and discipline to ask for the referral. So previously, we talked about the importance of really practicing asking for the business. And we're going to do the same thing with referrals. We want to train ourselves to be able to not trip over ourselves or hijack ourselves in the wrong moment when we're about to ask for a referral. So the more we do this and the more practice we get into, the easier it becomes. And when your clients, your current clients are clear on the value that you deliver, they're more likely to refer you. They're also open to being guided in their referrals to you. This is another thing that I learned the hard way that I want to share with you, that oftentimes you have clients that are really willing to give you a great referral, but they're not even sure what to say. They're not sure, like they can't even remember how they got to you in the first place, right? So take them back, help them really think through what is it about the experience that they love. So it makes it easy for them to speak into what they want to refer other clients to you for. And a video and written testimonials are 10 times more powerful than individual referrals because they live on. And that was another mistake that I made early on, was I was asking for individual one-on-one referrals, and then I began asking for video testimonials. And when I started to do that, it changed everything because it's social proof. Even someone who never even knew the person giving the referral, by understanding who they are, what their circumstances were, and any challenges that they have, it became really easy for them to see, hey, that's me. And this person had a similar experience to what I want. Another important part about the video side is that you're not required to use what's provided. So somebody gives you a testimonial and it's just not that great, well, you're at choice then. If you want to, you can ask them to speak into something different and coach them on how to give you a better referral, or you can thank them for doing it in the first place and just choose not to use that particular referral, right? So we want to build our system of referrals from the beginning. So after rejection of your coaching offering, right? This is usually after a free coaching session. Hey, thank you for your certainty and clear decision not to hire me as your coach. When I asked you about the value you received from our coaching session, you said, and then repeat back what they said. Now tell me, can you think of one or two people in your life that you would like to have experience a similar breakthrough? After you ask that question, shut up. The big thing is, if you're nervous, you're going to talk right over that. I want you to land that question. So can you think of one or two people in your life that would like to experience a similar breakthrough? Hold the silence. Give the pause. Be in that moment, let them think. And then, excellent, would you mind introducing us via email so that I can follow up with them? Now, this is why I'm suggesting email. Another option is text messaging, like do a little group text. You want their contact information. What I found that was not effective is if the coach, the client went off to refer me as their coach to somebody else, but I wasn't copied on the email or included on the text, then there was no way for me to follow up. This is not about me as the coach badgering my client's referral. It's about really being clear about the value that I want to create. No matter what my client does to introduce me, there's usually more that I can add specific to the value that I am looking to create for the prospect. So this is a great way for you to begin asking for referrals, even as you're ramping up your coaching business. Have this be one of your foundational questions at the end of your coaching, your sample sessions. And then,
Bill, I just want to add this thing you said about the pause. It is so critical. It's the #1 mistake of all the salespeople that I know. They are too anxious when they're making an ask, and instead of leaving that pregnant silence that allows the other person to process and come in, we get too anxious and then we start babbling. And so I like to introduce ahead of time. Tell yourself, I'm going to start doing PQRs, my favorite PQRs. I'm going to make the ask. And then I'm going to do my favorite PQR. So ahead of time, you give yourself a sage way of staying, especially because in the beginning, you might find yourself be a little anxious doing this work.
Love it, Shirzad. And see, this is what I love. One of the reasons I love having Shirzad in all of these sessions and chiming in is these add-ons are hugely valuable. I hope you find them valuable. I find them immensely valuable. It's just because both Shirzad and I have different experiences, and yet there's a similarity to what we're sharing in all of this. So even like the reframe about the willingness to receive and understanding that as another form of giving, of deeper giving someone else the opportunity to give, is a fantastic way to think about this. And the pregnant pauses, as Shirzad just said, it's the best thing you can do as a coach, to give space. And we're pretty good at doing that during the coaching session itself. But when we're asking for the sale, this is usually where we get a little nervous, we trip over ourselves, we're just not as comfortable with the enrollment part of our coaching business. But this is what we're going to work on together, because as you become masterful at enrollment, you're going to be able to make these statements and just be silent and allow for the space to be created where opportunities then can be formed. So another thing when coaches are starting out is, hey, do you know anyone? So the idea is you talk about and then talk about your specialty. So as an executive leadership coach, I am looking to work with world-changing visionaries who are brave enough to create a better future, or whatever your ideal customer description is. Do you know anyone who fits that description? Pause again. Right? This is an opportunity for you to ask a question and allow somebody the space to think about it. And then, would you mind introducing us? Right? This can be at networking events. You can get referrals from people who don't want to hire you as their coach and maybe not even interested in a sample session. You can still get people, because you can say, hey, I'm looking for people that look like this. This is my ideal customer. Why we spent so much time on defining your tribe and defining your ideal customer is so that you understand what to ask for when you're in the opportunity to receive. And there's the, and then there's the add value first, which is, hey, we haven't spoken to in a while. I'm checking in with you to see if there's anything I can do to support you. And that is an authentic question. I'm being clear about this. This is not a marketing gimmick. When you haven't spoken to someone in a while, you can easily check in and see if there's anything you do to support them. And just listen. Be that place of value. So that might, in of itself, that question might lead to a coaching session. But if it doesn't, and it's something tactical or something that's like, like very little, you just do it, like whatever it is. Like someone's post, support an article that was just provided, provide feedback on something, whatever it is. But then what ends up happening is there's almost always a feeling of reciprocation that is generated by whatever thing you've just done for them. And so they're often going to ask, is there anything I can do for you? Now, this is the place where givers say, no, I just was checking in with you. And the fear is that, oh, it seemed transactional because I'm asking for something, right? But if you're being authentic in this, it's not transactional. If you're being authentic in this, you gave something valuable. They've given you the space. They want to repay whatever it is you just did for them because it came out of the blue. They weren't expecting you to call them and suddenly they got some massive value out of whatever you just exchanged. They want to figure out what they can do to support you. So allow them to. Give them that gift.
And again, Bill, I want to double down on what you're saying here. First of all, I found myself in my saboteur days that if I haven't talked to somebody else, somebody for a while, and I reach out, it's just for me taking something. Then I realized there's something almost like a little bit of a muscle memory where because the times I spent with them helped them advance themselves in their life, the fact that they are now spending time with me again, even if I don't do or say anything special, has them go back to the space in their life where there was growth and breakthrough and all that awesome stuff. So just spending time with me without anything special is helping them reconnect to what matters to them. So I realized that it is a gift. It's not just about me taking. And the other thing really is just think about, since the idea of receiving being a gift, just think about it. When you watch an awesome movie that moves you, when you read an awesome book that helps you, you have a need to pay back the favor. You almost have a psychic need. You feel not quite at ease until you kind of make a lot of referrals and tell people about it. So you have given back. So that's what I mean by receiving is giving, because you actually allow people to feel, that they have paid it forward and the exchange has been equal. And I can't overemphasize how that reframing, unless you do it, I think there's a lot of room for saboteurs to come in and mess with you. So that at the essence of it is, ask yourself, when somebody gives back to you, aren't you just itching to somehow, reciprocate? And until you do, you're not feeling at ease. And if somebody refuses to allow you to give back, how would that make you feel? You're not able to go to balance. So that is central to everything Bill is saying, is emotionally, you got to be in this sage space of any of these things that Bill is saying. Is you are in continuous sage giving mode. And that's who we are in our essence. That's who we want to keep being. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just so damn important.
It is.
And I got tripped up with my saboteurs over and over on this issue. So now I feel just so excited that I've broken through to the other side of it. And I can't wait to keep telling you guys.
I love your energy and enthusiasm, sir. That I love it. And please keep it up. I love it. I really, I appreciate everything you're sharing. And it really is when you can see that, when you really reframe and understand that we've been denying people by not giving them the opportunity to reciprocate like that. Now I can actually experience that as selfish. Before it was like, no, I'm just a giver. Like, that's who I am. That's my brand. And what Shirzad's speaking into is that reframe is so important, because if you can see it as denying someone the opportunity to give something they authentically want to give you, that's not being a giver. This is the ultimate form of giving, is giving that space where somebody else can give back to you because they want to. And then you allow them to do it and you receive it graciously. So that's what we're doing here. That's all it is you're not going to reach out to someone because you want to ask them something. You really are starting with the place of, I want to add value first. And when it inevitably comes back to, how can I support you? You want to be at the ready. And they may not ask. Some people don't ask, and that's okay. You can either prompt it or not. That's up to you. But more often than not, people want to equal the scales. If you've added value in any way in their life, they want to find a way to support you and what you're doing and what you're up to. And there's also a way to do this from a pay it forward approach, right? And this is talking to people when you've just made a career transition. This is perfect, because whenever you add on LinkedIn, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I've decided to shift my career. Everybody's like, congratulations, that's amazing, right? You get all those messages, but it feels a bit empty, even for the people saying congratulations, because they're like, what do you need? How can I help? But that's not what they're saying. They're clicking on the button that LinkedIn is prompting them to click, which says congratulations or nice job or whatever it is. But there's still an opportunity there to follow that up. And you say, hey, yeah, I've just recently made a career transition to become, and then you say executive leadership coach, whatever type of coach you are. I've decided to step away from the comfort of my old job and share my gifts. As I suspect you know from a few of my ideal customers, and you tell them who they are. Here's who I'm describing. I'm describing my ideal customers as this. I'd like to make you look like a rock star. For the next 90 days, anyone you send my way will receive a full 50% off of my services. Just tell them to say that you sent me and them my way, and I'll take real good care of them. And I appreciate your support. So that's it. It's that simple. You could do this via email. You could do it via LinkedIn message, and you can even say it on the phone. You could do it shorter and to the point. But generally speaking, like if you have a number of people that are reaching out to congratulate you on your transition or your shift or whatever you're doing, this is a beautiful time to ask for support. All right. Good. Onboarding. Now this is a whole, I'm pivoting here now. Because at this point, we're talking, those are individuals that you're just starting out, people you don't even know. Now we're talking about your actual clients. As you're onboarding a client, I found this one to be very, very effective. You'll notice that I don't advertise my services. In order to keep my coaching costs low for my clients at about the 5-month mark, I ask that each of my satisfied clients provide and then be clear about it. Either it's a video testimonial, 3 introductions, something specific, right? So that I might deliver the same breakthroughs to people you love and care about without raising my fees. Assuming that you've received every bit of value you expect from our relationship, would you be willing to do that? And what's great about that is it's a future ask. You're planting a seed that you can recall back 5 months later, especially after they're like, their whole life has been shifted. They're experiencing joy the way they've never experienced before. They're having just the time of their life. They're having everything that they set out to do with you as their coach. And it's perfect to ask for referrals. But this is an opportunity now to plant that seed because it may happen faster than that. In month 2, they're like, I heard you when we first started had a conversation. I actually have 2 or 3 people that I think would be really perfect for the work we're doing together. Great. So even if you haven't asked for it, they're already putting it in the space because you planted this seed. And after a powerful breakthrough, I'm so thrilled that you've experienced a powerful breakthrough in your coaching session. While you're still feeling that powerful rush of emotion and empowerment, would you be willing to record a video of your experience that I may share with others so that they can have experienced the same incredible feelings in their own lives? Again, when somebody's in elation, give them that moment, dance with them in that moment. But as they're just like, what's next? This is an opportunity for you to direct that energy towards something powerful because that breakthrough, they really want to shout it from the mountaintops. Give them the channel to do that and help you, help them help you, right? Reverse that.
Bill, looking at the stuff in the chat, what I just want to suggest is there are one thing that some people are taking literally, that they use exactly the words that you have written. And some of what's on the chat is, hey, for maybe my culture, this is a little, the words are a little too direct, a little to this, a little to that. And so what I just want to emphasize here is this is just a framing and a suggestion that we absolutely expect you to modify to your own taste, to your own culture, to your own, even whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's on a phone or whether it's on an email, the length of relationship you've had. There's the full expectation that you'll adjust these things rather than verbatim use this. And I'm not sure that was clear enough yet.
Thank you for speaking to that. Absolutely. What I find, and this foundational work, it really, when someone's like having blank page anxiety, I find it's much easier for someone to edit text than it is to start from nothing. And so what I'm doing is I'm giving you all of these as starting points, exactly as Shirzad had said, with the understanding that it's a lot easier to modify an intent and put it in your own words than I say, okay, so what would you do with customer appreciation days? I don't know, where do I start? So the idea here is to give you templates and language that will support you in being able to modify and make it your own. So if that wasn't clear, I want to make sure that that's clear now. So thank you, Shirzad. Customer Appreciation Days. Each year, I look to expand my practice by 20%. One of the ways that I do this is I ask my satisfied clients who they know who would benefit from my coaching. For anyone you send my way, I will deliver a 2-hour powerful coaching session free of charge. And I will also give you, and then whatever it is you're giving them, a VIP day, full month free, one powerful coaching session, like depending on where you are in your coaching work, decide what would be really valuable as a means to say thank you. It's a double duty here. You're both acknowledging and thanking your clients, and you're giving that as an opportunity to share like how to pay it forward to their friends and their family members and anyone else that they think would experience some real value of what they're doing with you. And then even in ending a relationship, as you're winding down a coaching relationship, I really appreciate all the time we spent together as coach and client. Tell me, before we wind down our last coaching session, would you mind giving me a testimonial around the value you received from our coaching relationship? I fully appreciate that you've hit all the goals we've established at the beginning of our work together, and I'd like to do the same for other clients. Of course, yes. If they really love what they've just experienced, they would love to be able to repay this, to give this opportunity to share in this moment, right? Now, I want to talk about something that's a little bit more technical, but only from the context of how we can track and measure how we're doing. This is called the Net Promoter Score. Some of you may be very familiar with it, others may not. So the question is very simple. It's a one-question survey. You could always add more, but this is the essence of a Net Promoter Score. How likely are you to recommend us to a friend? And anyone who gives you a 9 or a 10, those are your promoters. Those are the ones that are likely to give you testimonials. Those are the ones that are likely to support you in any ask that you have in terms of referrals. They're the ones that are going to be your biggest advocates, right? If they're a 10, most likely they're a raving fan. If they're a 9, they're very close to being a raving fan. Now, the 7 and 8s are passives. They're neutral. It's okay. How's the relationship going? It's all right. 7 and 8 is really, they're not upset with anything, but they're not a raving fan yet. So there's work there. When you see people who are at a 7 or 8, that's your opportunity to really see what's in the gap for them so that you can ensure that they become raving fans. Your detractors are anyone 0 through 6. These are people who are not having a great experience and they're not enjoying the work that you're doing together. This is the opportunity. These people are at risk. And if you know who these people are, when you ask for this survey, you can get a better sense of what needs to happen in order to shift these individuals, because anyone 6 and below is at risk of terminating the coaching relationship. And so the way you get your score is you take the total percentage of the promoters minus the percentage of detractors, and that's going to give you your score. So I'll give you an example of that. So in this particular example, you had 59% promoters minus 5% detractors, and that gives you a net promoter score of 54. So you're taking all the people say that they're extremely likely to refer you to a friend or colleague. You're ignoring the 7s and 8s because those are neutral, and then you're subtracting out the 6 through 0s. And any of those then would give you your net promoter score. Now, what's interesting is if you Google this, you can find industry averages of net promoter scores for any industry you want. And some of them are more believable than others. I say that because I looked at this, and this was for 2020, and I was really shocked to see airlines even at the high of 39, which, you know, for me, like, I think airlines should be way down close to internet service providers at 7, but according to the latest data, you know, I think people are neutral on airlines, and so they're not as negative as maybe they once were. But regardless, this gives you an understanding of net promoter scores of where does, say, department specialty stores rank versus internet service providers or your cable provider, right? Health insurance, right? You can see the ones that are way down here. It's like most people are pretty upset with these guys, whereas most people are pretty happy with these guys. Now, understanding and growing your net promoter score. This is an industry guideline to see how I'm doing, By asking how likely you would recommend me to a friend or colleague, you're gauging how much value you're delivering in the minds of your clients. It's typically overkill for early stage coaches, but as you continue to grow your business, you're going to want to know what your total base of clients feel about the job that you're doing. And it's something very simple that you can roll out. Industry benchmarks can help guide you because no one gets a perfect score. And so now we're coming to this place where I'm going to invite every one of you to model the behavior that you wish to see. See, as you experienced in our last session together, we talked about making your offer and experiencing going through and actually making a request and seeing what it feels like to make your offer and then continue to refine it and with your irresistible offer, right? I'm going to give you the opportunity to actually think about what it's like to give a testimonial. So I'm going to actually ask you to take out a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'd like you to write them down. So don't do this as an intellectual exercise. I actually want you to do this as a written exercise. If you're in front of your computer and you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, you can definitely open up a Word doc or a notebook or a notepad or Evernote. So whatever it is for you, but I'm going to give you a minute to just grab that so we can go through this exercise together. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to reflect on where you are right now in this program. Specifically, the first question, what value have you received from the PQ Coach program thus far? Things to think about. You can think about what this has been like in the business development track. You can think about the content that Shirzad has provided relative to certification and understanding how to become more adept as you're coaching with positive intelligence and the platform. Think about the 5 seats and even the extra seats that you've added on. How's that been? What kind of impact are you creating for your clients? What value have you received from the PQ Coach program thus far? Take about a minute or two to write this down. Patricia has asked, are we answering this now? Right, I'm asking you to write it down now. Okay. And if you still have some other things that you want to write down, but you're running out of time because I want to move on to the next question, just write a couple bullet points. Just outline this. Just write a couple other bullet points of things you might want to speak into. But this is your opportunity to see what the value is that you have received from the PQ Coach program thus far. The second question is, why would you recommend this program to other coaches? So in thinking about other coaches you know, people who are either struggling in their building their coaching business, people who are thriving coaches but would love some additional tools, people maybe who have coaching symptoms but not root causes, thinking specifically around factor analysis, the saboteurs, SAGE, the 5-stage powers, how that supported you in your coaching practice. Why would you recommend this program to other coaches? Take about 2 minutes now. And as I said, if it supports you, write down a few little bullet points. If you're thinking of other things that you want to get to, like just bullet point it out. Take about 30 seconds to wrap up. And how has this program supported your ability to build, grow, and expand your coaching business? How has this program supported your ability to build, grow, and expand your coaching business? Has it brought you clarity, support you in thinking about your ideal customer, defining your tribe, refining your irresistible offer, practicing the art of the close, even today, thinking about referrals in a different way, being open to receive? What is it for you? How has this program supported your ability to build, grow, and expand your coaching business? Take another minute to write down your thoughts. Okay. What's one key insight you've learned that supported your growth? One key insight that you've learned that has supported your growth. This could be about application of the platform, could be about the way technology provides scale. Maybe it encouraged you to do some group coaching as part of the work that you're doing right now in the pods. Perhaps it's about coaching to the root level causes rather than the symptoms. What's one key insight you've learned that has supported your growth? And lastly, I want you to think of one person who could really benefit from this program, and then imagine telling this person why you took this program and the benefits received. This is really important. When you're doing any type of testimonial, the big mistake is that we think about the masses. It's really helpful to get crystal clear on one person. So think of one person who could really benefit from this program, and then imagine telling that person why you took this program and the benefits you just wrote down. So the homework is very easy this week. I'm sure you can get a sense of what it is. I'm going to ask you to provide a video testimonial of the value you've received from our work together. It only needs to be 1 to 3 minutes in length. I want you to state your name and your niche, what kind of coach you are, the tribe you serve, any contextual relevance there. What's the value received from this course? Why would you recommend this program to other coaches? How has this program supported your ability to build and grow your coaching business? Now, it's really simple. We're going to give you opportunities to do this today. We actually can do it. We'll have some time in a minute for anyone who's ready to go right now. We also have the Q&A session in about another, when we do our Q&A session, we'll give you an opportunity to actually do these recordings there so you don't have to worry about it. But if you want to do it on your own, take your time, just record it via Zoom. And just like we're doing right now, open up, Zoom is free. You go in, you just set up a meeting, look at the camera, say your piece, right? Say what you just wrote down, and then that's it. When you end this video, the session itself, it'll record an MP4 automatically, and then you can use Hightail or WeTransfer, both free services. Just drop the video in and send it to us. Bill@positiveintelligence.com. I will happily take any and all submissions that way. Easiest way to do it. And if you're ready right now, I would love to have...
Bill, some people wanted you to go back to the previous slide.
Oh, yes. This one, right? This slide or a different slide?
I think this is the one.
Oh, the homework slide.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Hold on. Thank you. That's the disadvantage of not looking at chat while we're presenting. In fact, if you want, just take a screenshot of this particular slide. Do on Apple, it's Command Shift 3. I'm not sure what that is for PCs. I used to know. Don't know anymore.
Or a snapshot on your phone.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Where were you heading?
Where I was heading is, if you're ready right now, I would love to just have an example, someone who wants to give a testimonial right now, and that way others can see how easy this is, because it doesn't have to be a long, complicated thing. So I'm going to actually stop sharing. Come back. And if you wouldn't mind raising your hand if you are brave enough to go first. I know this was just given to you just now, but there's no time like the present, and I would love to have somebody go first to actually show everyone else how easy this is to do, to model it for us. Oh, and just as a reminder, to raise your hand, click on participants, and then click raise hand.
And while we're taking our time for somebody to raise their hand, I do want to say this is a delicate thing we are doing here, because there could be a skepticism of this could be self-serving for positive intelligence. So if there's any of that, please speak it into the space if that is something that's on your mind. And we are hoping that this serves you in having a very clear example that you can practice. So with that, I think we do have a raised hand.
Celia, yes, I'm coming to you.
Hi.
Hello, Celia.
How are you guys? Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Please.
Thank you.
So, hello, my name is Cecilia Cruz. I'm an emergency medicine physician and coach as of about a year and a half ago. I would love to recommend this 12-week program that I've been doing with Shirzad and Bill. It has changed my view and perspective of coaching and just added this wonderful other dimension. Again, coming from the physician world, most of my clients tend to want scientific data, information on how coaching is beneficial. And this has given me exactly that. I can provide them with data, information about neural pathways, and all of this is so incredibly rich. And all of a sudden, they no longer feel like they are being brought into this woo-woo land. It is all very clear-cut, but now they are open to the techniques of mental fitness, and they are much more open as they learn about the sage and the saboteurs to go to places where they might have not been willing to go before. And so I would highly recommend this for any other coach, even if you're not in the medical field, regardless of what field it is. I think most people want to know that what they are doing or practicing has a strong foundation and a strong basis. And so I would highly recommend this for anyone. It has been an amazing experience, and absolutely the business portion of the program has also been wonderful in helping me create my irresistible offer, how to think about referrals, and just how to present myself to potential clients. So thank you very much.
Awesome. And I wanted to give it a second there. The pause is on purpose because we want to be able to edit it out, right? So we can do that. That was amazing, Celia. Thank you. That was incredible. I loved it. You look at the chat, everyone's there just like, oh, rooting you on. It's like, that was an incredible testimonial. And I couldn't have asked for a better example to kick us off. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Thank you, guys. It really has been.
By the way, very personal. My nephew is an anesthesiologist, UCLA trained anesthesiologist. He wants to switch to coaching physician burnout. And so I'm
Yes.
gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna show him this testimonial because it's
No,
gonna make him very
absolutely.
excited.
Yeah, we connect us for
That's
sure.
awesome. Great.
It's
No,
beautiful.
thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Celia. Celia, you're awesome. Appreciate you. Jane. Oh, Jane, you don't have your video started. Do you mind starting your video on, Jane, if you want to? There we are. Perfect. I'm going to come to you. Okay. Now, Jane, before we begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just be silent and then just give it a, like, take a second and then introduce yourself. Just there's a little bit of in between, so it's not immediately when I stop talking, you start talking. Just give it just a little bit of a pause and then go right in. Is that okay?
Sure.
Great. And you're on.
Hi, I'm Jane Kesey, and I'm an executive coach in Minnesota who works with schools and other organizations. And I've been using saboteurs with my clients for several years because it's so accessible. When they learn they're a stickler or a victim or a hyperachiever, they know what that means, and I can turn them on a dime to realize the downside. But as I went through the program, starting synchronistically with the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis, it made me look at my own habits, and the app and the coaching and the 6-week program actually turned some of my habits around. And I have been starting to use that with clients where daily they're taking time to work on those saboteur lies and turn them into positive intelligence. And it's really amazing how quickly they stop beating themselves up and start doing positive things. So it's just a great tool to add to your coaching practice that's accessible and also gives clients the actual daily practice they need to change habits.
Yay! Excellent. Thank you, Jane. Amazing. How did that feel?
Just fine.
Yeah, good.
Because I've been selling
great,
it to other coaches. You've got a bunch of people in the current new pod that came from our experiences.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Jane.
Appreciate it. Chris, I'm coming to you.
Perfect. Gotcha. Tell me when you want me to go.
I'm saying you are good to go now.
Good afternoon, folks. Chris Wallace here, advisor to men. I work mainly with addictions, but I work with a lot of business executives. I work with school principals, guys who own their own small businesses, and on and so forth. And this has been a wonderful program, and I'll tell you why. I do a lot of work around the conforming ego, and I'm sort of a Jungian, and I use archetypes. And can you imagine me trying to explain 100 years of psychology to my clients? This program takes all of that and has made it so accessible by condensing it down to its most salient points. And I've found it really easy to teach. As a matter of fact, while we were talking a little while earlier, I just got a message from a fella. I won't show you the top, but you can kind of see it here. And on it, he says, 3 breath meditations are amazing. Thanks. That just came in from a client a few minutes ago. I had his first PQ session on Sunday evening. And so I think when we take the testing of the PQ score and the saboteurs, that in itself is already revealing. It takes the mystery around inner critic and self-sabotage and self-doubt and the stuff that keeps people awake at night. It takes the shoulds, the woulds, the coulds, the musts, the if-onlys, the what-ifs, and it puts them all right into perspective. And I found it really helpful. And then when you add in all of the explanations, the simple legs upon which this whole program stands, and then add in as well the app that you can practice it with somebody helping you along, I think it's invaluable. I think this is something that will become part of every coach's repertoire of approaches that they use with their clients. And I wholeheartedly approve of it and recommend it to everybody. Thank you.
Awesome, Chris.
All
Yay.
right,
Thank
Chris,
you.
that was awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, we do bring a lot of jumbo mumbo from psychology and make it palatable instantly. Thank you. That was wonderful framing.
Excellent. So if anyone else would like to speak into it now, feel free, just raise your hand and we'll dive into you. And at the same time, as I said earlier, we're going to have time during our QA session today as well to practice this and be able to work into it. That way, if you don't want to send the actual video clip separately as a WeTransfer or Hightail, that would be the easiest and fastest way to do it. And as you saw, like once you start speaking into it, it's really easy. And what it does is it builds your muscle of being able to give referrals. And when you practice giving what you want to receive, you'll find pretty amazing things happen. So even just for the people who just spoke in just now, watch what happens today and the next couple of days. It's magic starts to really happen, and I love it.
And I do want to be transparent about one thing. When Bill brought up the idea of let's have the homework be about people giving testimonials about this program, my first instinct was, let's be careful not for that to be a self-serving thing for us, right? That was my first instinct. And I had to take myself to, how is this exactly what would serve our coaches? And that's exactly what I was suggesting before, that when you ask, before you ask, you need to be completely centered about this being a gift. And I actually had to go through it myself in this particular thing. Bill, it appears that we have Anne ready to go.
Yes, Anne. Anne, would you turn on your camera, please? I can't spot. There you are. Great. It's going to be able to spotlight you. There you go. Oh, but I can't hear you now. So you're off mute though.
Okay. And
there you are.
Am I good now?
You're good now. Perfect. So I'm going to put myself on mute. Just give it like 1 second or so and then go. Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Ann Holm, and I actually have been in the people development business for well over 35 years, first as a brain scientist working with brain injured people, and then now the last 12 years as an executive coach. The fundamental problem that I always encountered when I worked either with my patients in brain injury or now with clients in executive coaching was this idea of how to lock in the learning. 1 hour session isn't enough. And so you have to practice. You have to practice daily to create those new connections. And so my quandary was always, how am I going to get a client to do that? How can I support them to practice every day these new brain connections? And this app was like, came down with wings from heaven, because this is exactly what I was looking for, something that was going to fundamentally support any coaching goal and make it stick. And so my clients, I've had, a dozen or more clients use it, many more in the wings waiting to use it, because it works. It just works. So it's really exciting to have it in my toolbox. It's foundational. Everybody has to use it, or at least gets the opportunity to use it, because I think that's how they're going to have their goals be sustainable and long-term. Thanks.
Yes, perfect. Amazing. Oh my gosh. The app came down with wings from heaven. I love that. That's amazing.
I love sound bites like that.
Oh, so great. So great. Oh, man. Well, I invite everyone to join us in our QA session to be able to step in and really play with us this way. I am learning so much as well. What I love about these testimonials is that they're also showing us the value of what you are experiencing, which helps us really reinforce the places where we can continuously grow and expand as we look to add even more value to this work together. So I want to thank everyone for this really powerful connection. I appreciate everybody. I really appreciate everybody from the willingness to come step in, talk about referrals, to have the conversation about how to use this systematically within your business. And as someone said in the chat, which I appreciate very much, is when you do something like this, how can we expect to ask something from someone else to do this for us when we're not willing to do it for ourselves? And one of the things I love about this muscle is when we give a referral, we connect with that energy of what it means to give a referral. And when we do that, we're connecting with it. It makes it so much easier for others to give to us, and they see it, and you're modeling the behavior. And that's really what this was about, like modeling the behavior you want to see in your coaching practice. And as you step into this energy, watch the magic that comes out from it. So, I hope
what you also experience is the steps that Bill took you through to become very, very specific, exact things that you've derived from this work, exact people that you might want to recommend. Notice that that really helped you think about this testimonial rather than, hey, just tell us what you like about this, right? So hopefully as you experience that within yourself, you are now realizing how to guide other people to give you testimonials because you experienced it yourself. And I'm also very grateful. I hear these things about how you're using this work in the world, and it just, that delights me and makes my day. So thank you.
All right, we'll see you in the QA session. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.